A few weeks back, we were all stating that David Warner could have a role as a future Australian white ball captain, isn't it? He was banned from all leadership roles permanently for a lifetime after the Newlands ball tampering scandal. There was an appeal done, and many thought that perhaps Warner's punishment for that Newlands saga had finally ended. But no. In a stunning turn of events, David Warner has decided to withdraw his appeal from the captaincy ban. The reasons are several. David Warner on his Instagram page has released a whole statement as to why he decided to withdraw. The allegations and the way he has said it is indeed very, very sad. And it is a very scathing attack on the review system that is put in place. So, you have to understand the backdrop as to why David Warner got into this situation in the first place. Remember, after the 2018 Newlands test, in which Cameron Bancroft, Stephen Smith and David Warner were all handed bans and they were caught ball tampering, the fines were held out. Bancroft was banned for 9 months, Steve Smith was banned for a year in additional to a 1-year ban from captaincy. David Warner, on the other hand, was not just banned for 1 year, he was banned for life from holding any kind of leadership position in the Australian cricket team. Now, what changed in the ensuing 4 to 5 years that happened ever since that Sandpapergate scandal? Warner had apparently requested Cricket Australia to modify the leadership ban. And why did that come about? Because the code of conduct for the players in the Australian cricket team had undergone a modification in which long-term sanctions can be heard or reversed on appeal. With that hope, in which Warner starts out his statement, with that hope and from the encouragement of his teammates, he decided to appeal for the lifetime ban against his captaincy. So he thought that maybe if he reviewed, then it would be fine. The statement was very clear and the conditions were very, very clear. You would have to ensure that you had undergone a change in your personality and that you were repentant of your past actions, as well as Warner had to show that he indeed possessed the character and the reform that he had shown so that he could be considered as future Australia captain. But did any of that happen? No, because the review panel made offensive statements on him, questioned his character ineffectively, and the review panel that was appointed, it acted contrary to the submissions by Cricket Australia. In this statement that he's put out on Instagram, and you can very well say it, it says, despite my opposition and that of Cricket Australia, the review panel took it upon themselves to concoct an irregular procedure for the determination of my application. Counsel assisting made offensive and unhelpful comments about me that had absolutely no purpose under the code of conduct. It acted contrary to the submissions, and it appears to some extent the review panel wanted to conduct a public trial of me. They wanted a public spectacle. So in effect, whatever David Warner had suffered, the review panel were apparently, in his words, wanting to make him humiliate in public itself. They wanted Warner to be subject to a public humiliation and a lynching, public lynching. This was a bit too much for David Warner to take. They want to conduct a public spectacle to, in the panel's words, have a cleansing. I am not prepared for my family to be the washing machine for cricket's dirty laundry. Very, very strong statements indeed from David Warner, because if you look at it, the actions by Cricket Australia could be a deterrent, but it was also in excess. Which team has not done ball tampering? India was guilty of it. Even Pakistan have been forever guilty for it. South Africa have been perennially ball tampering with it. So the excess action that Australia undertook is probably come back to haunt David Warner. Warner stated that council wants to conduct media circus. requested review panel to reconsider the procedure, because apparently the way how the review was conducted, it was contrary to the spirit of the procedures that were laid out by the review panel itself. That is what David Warner has said. But this conduct media circus was a very, very strong trial, because in this he says, the review panel appears determined to expose me and my family to further humiliation and harm by conducting a media circus. I note that the engagement of the council assisting was terminated. So that is why I submitted a request for the review panel to revisit their procedural decision and at least apply a protocol that is consistent. That is the reason why David Warner asked the panel to reconsider the procedure. But it fell on deaf ears. The review panel ignored Warner's request, and Warner has apparently decided to withdraw. So what does this mean? His captaincy lifetime ban will remain. So David Warner will not be able to captain Australia ever in his playing career. That is a major body blow, because David Warner, we have seen in his brief glimpses as captain prior to Sandpaper Gate, he had shown good leadership skills. Just ask Sunrisers Hyderabad, the way how he led them to the IPL title. But unfortunately now, Sandpaper Gate is a big, big blot on David Warner, and that is why Australia will never ever consider him as the captain. So we were all wondering whether David Warner can be the next white ball captain heading into the 2023 World Cup. Not a chance. He might probably be the best captain Australia never had. Shane Warne Part 2? Maybe. He ended his statement by saying, not prepared to subject family teammates to trauma. Media circus, public humiliation, lynching, media circus, trauma. These are very strong words, and David Warner has spoken right from the heart. What are the repercussions that David Warner will have to undergo after this remains to be seen. Will he be considered in the future for Australia? That also is a major question mark, because these kind of statements might not go down well with the Cricket Australia board. And whether sanctions will be in place and whether David Warner is banned from all forms of cricket, maybe that's a step too extreme, but the repercussions and the fallout will continue. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this special live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.